So is it a good time to buy, sell here in the Phoenix area? Well, let's go ahead and look at the numbers and go from there. And I'll tell you what, if you are somebody that just wants to get, just a superficial view of what's going on, then I'm going to hit you up with it right here in the middle and at the start of it. If you're more interested in looking at information, that is a little bit more in depth, then we're going to be looking at that as well. So stay with me to the end and you're definitely going to get those numbers. Right here, I've got the Cromford Market Index, and the gauge that's in the middle is, the one that most people will look at. Normal is between 90 to 110. We're at 72.6. So right now at 72.6, the market does favor buyers a little bit. We're not in a deep buyer's market by any means, but it does favor buyers a little bit. The reason is that our supply is in the normal range, but our demand is not. We have a demand that's at 76.2, and that's low. So because of that, it's favoring buyers at that time. Now, let's go ahead and start looking at the listings, all right? Right now, at this period of time, and I want to focus really just on Maricopa County, our regional multiple listing service actually includes some properties that are in Pinal, and I don't want to include that. It's going to be just Maricopa County. That way, all of us that conduct business, transact here in this specific area are going to be able to take advantage of the information that I provide. All right. So looking at Maricopa right now, we have 18,572 properties on the market. You can see that up here on the top. Now, we do also have some that, double clicked on something there. We do also have some that are coming soon. So when you look at that overall, we're just shy of about 19,000 properties that are going to be coming on the market or are going to be actively on the market. All right. Now, how many of these have been coming on the market recently? And I like using the Cromford report for this. And you can see from the red markings right here, this is earlier in the year. We started out the year usually hitting quite a few properties that come on the market. And this is based on the month. Right now, here we are, July, kind of going into the middle of July, and we're at 2,780 new listings that have hit the market since the start of July. And we're kind of on track to be where we've been in years past, maybe a little bit less. And you can see that towards this time of the year compared to the earlier part of the year, we end up seeing fewer listings hit the market. So that is really pretty normal. Now, going back over here, I want to show you properties that are under contract. All right. At this point in time, under contract in Maricopa County, we've got 5,685 properties. Now, as we talk about this is for all, dwelling types. So it doesn't matter if it's a condo, it doesn't matter if it's, a mobile home or a single property. And that is what is under contract at this point. Now, I want to start looking at, averages for what's going on. So let's look at the statistical, had too much coffee today. Let's look at the statistical information so that we can kind of make a little bit of an informed decision as to what's going on. Now, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to make sure that we put active properties under there, and I also want closed properties that have closed in the month of June. All right. And let's go ahead and look to see what has been going on with properties. So right now, starting out with actives, you can see there's the 18,572. All right. The average list price, about 778,000. Oftentimes that's pretty high because you're looking at averages and there is several properties that are listed at the 3 million, over. So the number can be a little skewed. It's average. It's not median. All right. What about what's under contract? You can see there's a couple different under contracts. The contingent under contract contingent on buy or sell under contract, but they're accepting backups or pending. All of these are under contract. You can see it varies a little bit, 693, 679, 734. So that's the average. And you can see the days that it's taking to put something under contract over here on this side. For the CCBS, the contact contingent on the buy or sell, you're looking at about 109 days. For the UCB, you're looking at 86 days. For pendings, it's taking 72 days. Now, when you look up at the actives, you're looking at 93. What does that tell us? Well, overall, it tells us that sellers really want to try to get as much money as they probably can. So a lot of people potentially are probably listing their properties a little bit above what the actual value is, and they're having to come down, do price reductions. And I'll tell you what, let me show you another chart that shows exactly that, right over here. This right here is the number of price changes over the course of a week. And you can see here for the week beginning July 11th, there was 2,877 properties that ended up having price changes. That right there is literally somewhere in the 10 to 15% of the active properties that are on the market. So on a weekly basis, 10 to 15% of these properties are doing price changes. So what's this mean to me? Well, it means to me the same thing I was just saying a minute ago, that lots of times sellers, we want to try to get top dollar when we put the property on the market. So we end up over listing it. We put it at a higher price, and it doesn't sell. We have to do price adjustments. So that is what's going on right now at this point. Now, I kind of want to break it down a little bit by property type too. So let's look at single family homes. All right. And let's go ahead and look at the statistical information now with this. I think this is going to change it up a little bit. So you can see now we've only got 13,977 properties that are active on the market. The average price now jumped up to 902. Okay. And you can see the properties under contract, you've got probably 1,800 plus another 2,700. So let's just call it shy of about 5,000 properties that are under contract. You can see the average list price that is under contract, 751, 757, 721. And look at the average sales price over here. You're looking at about 690,000. And you look at the average list price, 712. People are not getting full list price. They're getting at about 98% of list price. Now, when I say they get the 98% of list price, this is at the price that it eventually sold. So if people are doing price reductions, it's the last price reduction that they did. What amount of that price did they get? And it looks like they're getting at about 98% right now at this time. Average days on market, the actives are about 89. What does this mean? Well, we've got properties that are starting to sit on the market longer. The days on market has actually gone up. All right. And you can see the properties that have sold is less than that. So the properties that are selling fast are the properties that are being marketed at a correct price. They're not over listing the value of the home. So that is what is going on right here with single family homes. I want to jump over now and let's look at townhomes, patio homes, apartments for the general area. Okay. And you can see that number changes drastically. Now we're at 4,926 properties that have resulted in this search. And I'm sorry, my screen kind of blanked out right here. So 4,926 overall. Let's look at what the CMA, which is the statistic. If you guys are still listening and pay attention, I applaud you, because here I am just, talking like an idiot. So looking at the statistical information, active properties that are those condos, townhome style home, there's 3,355. Under contract, looks like we've got somewhere potentially in the shy of 800 range. Closed in the month of June, 727. So, literally, yes, we definitely have over 3 months of inventory of this home. It is, more leaning towards a balance / buyer's market here. And you can see the days on market definitely went up. It's about 20 days more, give or take, from the single family homes. And you can see the actives are definitely even longer than that. So again, it just kind of speaks volumes as to how important it is to really get a good finger on what the comparables are for properties. I mean, in a market like where we're in today, where it benefits buyers more, you really need to look at properties that are currently under contract a lot more and weigh that a lot more than you would, for example, properties that have sold recently, because you want to pay attention to what the trend is. So that is kind of what's going on in the Phoenix real estate market. I'm trying to show you a little bit more information. So what does this translate to for buyers? Well, I'll tell you what, I think it's great for buyers because right now, with a larger inventory and the demand being lower, there's better chance to be able to get into a home, be able to negotiate the price, be able to ask for concessions from the seller to help with your closing costs, maybe even negotiate not just a better price, but also maybe concessions to help with your closing cost, etc. So there's a lot of things that you can do to negotiate that, and this is a market exactly for that. What about for sellers? Well, I'll tell you what, I think it's still a good market for sellers as well. If you bought your home anytime, say after 2010 and on, you've definitely got a lot of equity in the home, and you're going to be able to sell and walk away with a lot of money. Now, the question is are you going to put it on the market at market value, or are you going to be doing some kind of aspirational pricing? And realistically, aspirational pricing, it's probably going to end up sitting on the market. If you price it at market or a little bit below, chances are you'll get those views and end up getting more people through the property. So that is what is going on right now here in the Phoenix real estate market. I truly do hope that you found this beneficial. I'd love your input. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if, I think I missed anything. If you're looking to buy or sell here in the Phoenix area, been doing real estate for over 20 years, and I love talking real estate, love helping people out. So if you're looking here in the Maricopa area, there's so many great opportunities for you buyers, and for you sellers, again, it's still a great time to sell. You just need to make sure that you market the property well, and that's one of the things that I like to do. Really focus in on what is going on in the market, specifically in your niche market, so that we can maximize the return for you. Again, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.